Hello, I'm Richard, and this is North East Football Media. Hello, I'm Richard. Welcome back to North East Football Media. This is the latest edition of the Focus on Grassroots. Tonight we're speaking to Nathan Beadle, and he's involved in two clubs, Darlington SPRAIRE Lasses and also Durham FC in the Wearside League. So Nathan, welcome to the channel this evening. You okay?
Yeah, not bad. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad at all. Not too bad at all. Just really wanted to start with just a little bit about yourself, really. I mean, when did you first get involved in grassroots football? And obviously, you are involved with two clubs. So how did the two clubs come about as well for you?
Yeah, so I first got involved in grassroots football when I was 14-year-old, just helping out while I played. I played for a team, and there was a junior side played next to us, and I used to just stay behind and help out with the younger side coaching, and got into it a little bit more when I did injury myself when I was playing football, and I helped out with my brother's side when I couldn't play football. I was out for 3 or 4 years. I had a really bad back injury, and then since then started volunteering to coach for a club, and then around 2 years ago, 5 years ago, started coaching for Darlington SPRAIRE Lasses, and then 2 years ago became head coach. And sort of started a total rebrand of the girls section, and then the very first lockdown, in the middle of the first lockdown, I'd done some assistant manager work at Durham City and Darlington Town, and sort of wanted to go on my own route as a non-league manager. So took the job at Durham FC, which I thought was a really good opportunity, and I haven't looked back since.
Oh, fantastic. So obviously you're quite busy with your hands full then with the two clubs to deal with at the moment. I mean, tell us a little bit about the Darlington club first of all. I mean, how long's that been going? I know, like you said, you sort of rebranded it. It's quite a lot of teams there, isn't there, in the junior section?
So it's been going a long time. A lovely man called Dave Scott set it up. He founded it. I'm sure it was back in the 80s, and I run the girls' side of it, and that had been going since the late 90s, but it started dwindling down, and it dwindled down as much to only me having one side in the girls' section this time 2 years ago. At the start of January 2019, and I just thought this isn't good enough, so really worked hard, and we've got 10 teams now. In the last 2 years, we've managed to set up 9 teams, and then we've got a development phase, and we've got a parents football team as well. So we've got 125 girls in total, and this time 2 years ago we had 15. So wow. It's been quite a dramatic increase in workload for myself and girls playing football, but all good.
No, I mean that's a big increase. You've done really well there. I mean, do the club, do they have their own facilities? Do they like own the clubhouse and the ground, or is it sort of rented off the council or school?
We don't know. We rely on schools heavily. We used to rely on a council pitch, but antisocial behaviour started getting in the way around our training sessions. So we recently just moved to a new school, but we sort of run off 3Gs and pitches, and that's about it really. We have our own walking club shop as a girls section, and sort of walking when we're allowed to. Obviously we haven't done it for about a year. We've not been able to do COVID, but before that we had like a pop-up cafe, so to speak. My mum and dad run that for us, so it's quite a family-based club as well. So my mum, dad and brother are all involved in it, but other than that, no, we're just a field really.
No, okay, no, that's great. I mean, in terms of Durham FC, and obviously that's a slightly different story, I guess. Obviously, that they've got a ground, haven't they? And adult football, I guess, it's got different issues. And how did you have you found that really in terms of Durham? Have they just got the one team, or have they got more than one adult team?
No, they've just got one adult team, but they've got a lot of junior sides. It's a really well-run club. It used to be part of Durham City juniors, and then they split off to make this club last year, 2020. We play at Framwellgate Moor, and we're working on getting a permanent ground there. But there's a clubhouse, there's changing rooms. We've got our own. We've just had our pitch relaid, which looks really good now, and it's a development there, but it's got real good potential of making a good non-league ground where we are there. So, but as opposed to, we sort of have only one men's team, but we've got an under-23s forming next season. So, we're trying to have that good progression into adult football, and also, give the youth a good try in that under-23s and progress them into the first team as well.
Oh, fantastic. I mean, as I sort of said just then, really, obviously you're involved in junior football and adult football. I mean, what do you enjoy most about the junior football and in the adult football, really? Obviously the differences as well.
I think you're right there, because I just enjoy having two different footballing personalities, because everyone knows I couldn't get my juniors to come and watch me coach my adults because there might be some things that they don't like, but it's just sort of the total different side of the game. And not only juniors as well, it's junior female football, which is quite new. I know it's been around many years, but the increase in ability and in technical ability, that it's really getting there now. So I like it because the girls learn. They're always willing to learn. Whereas sometimes you might get a boy come to your club and the previous coach or parents have said do it this way. Whereas girls are learning football from scratch, which is what I like most about coaching juniors. And it's the girls juniors, and they're always just happy to play football, which is good. It's a lovely environment to be in. And then with the adults, it's just everyone will say it's the camaraderie of being around the dressing room, and I do like giving some of them a telling off. People don't, but you sort of think, oh, I can't wait for this one here. But it's just the camaraderie and being around the lads, and we haven't been together for 5 months now, to be fair, because of the way where I live in Darlington, and the club's in Durham, so I wasn't allowed to travel to games. And half of our team was split, so we couldn't cross the borders. When some teams could play within, like Durham, we couldn't field the team, so we haven't actually physically seen each other. Although we train over Zoom every week, we haven't physically seen each other since October.
Wow, that's a long time, but hopefully that won't be much longer now, will it? If everything goes to plan. I mean, obviously you've been involved in, as you said, in grassroots football for quite a long time. What's been your best sort of moments that you've enjoyed?
My best moment, and people will be able to tell you my best moment. I took this girls' team on 6 years ago. We had 6 girls in a 7-a-side league. We played with a player down for 3 months. I got told to go nowhere. What's the point on doing it? You'll never do anything with them. We were in the 3rd division. We got back-to-back promotion in 2 years, and then 4 years later we were lifting the League Cup. So from going to having 6 players and everybody wrote us off, it's not even some people, everybody wrote us off, and it was nice to see those same people at our cup final cheering us on. It made front page news in the Northern Echo, and it was just, I can just remember we went down to a penalty shootout in the cup final, under 16 there were, and I can just remember during this cup final hearing those words ringing about saying, "What have you done this for? You'll never win anything with them." Just when that last penalty went in, and we won it.
Wow, fantastic. I mean, that's what it's all about, isn't it, really, I guess? And what a great journey that was there. Obviously, in terms of the sort of the community aspects of junior football and grassroots football as well, I mean, the both your clubs get involved in quite a lot of community stuff.
It's a massive thing that I've done during lockdown. So during this, I'm going to say last lockdown, who knows how many lockdowns we've had. During any amount of lockdowns we've had, my main aim was some of the parents, some we were, some weren't paying subs. We froze subs at some point at SPRAIRE. So I just thought, we'll pay money to travel to games. We're saving some sort of money here. So I wanted to raise funds for people in and around. I got in touch with the Samaritans, St. Teresa's Hospice. So we ended up raising just over £5,000 for the local community. We fed 140 vulnerable elderly members of our community through fundraising for our club. By myself and my mum drove around and delivered all the meals for them. We fed 100 families in local schools with 2 bags of shopping from Morrison's, and also delivered each of our players as well last Easter, like a little Easter package, 120 odd of them we did. It sounds good and you're smiling at it, but what a terrible idea that was. But by the end of it, I'd done about 15 hours. I think it was Christmas, not Easter, by the time I finished.
Wow, what a fantastic thing. What about with Durham? Do they do a lot of stuff with the community as well?
We've been trying to do like challenges ourselves. So I've been trying to, and I know some of the Durham lads might watch it. I've been trying to hide some of the fitness by doing like charity events or walking so much or running so much to sort of fundraise for a charity, but also trying to get them fit whilst doing it to try and sort of hide that. But yeah, we've been doing challenges as well. We've had a Just Giving page going for. We've been trying to run 2020 miles between however many lockdowns, just so that it's the year we were formed, 2020. So to try and raise funds for a few charities close to heart. And I know two of the lads are doing a marathon walk on next Friday for Alzheimer's Society. I've given them the day off training. So, but I think they deserve it for a 26-mile walk. So massive shout out to them. Johnny and James are doing that. So we do get involved in a lot of things, yeah.
Oh, fantastic. I mean, you know, coming on to kind of fundraising and stuff, obviously getting money together for the clubs, for the equipment and for pitch fees and everything else can be quite a challenge. It's probably one of the biggest challenges in grassroots football, isn't it, at the moment? So how have you found that as a challenge at both clubs, really? And how have you kind of overcome that?
So we're really lucky at Darlington SPRAIRE Lasses. Well, we've got 13 sponsors throughout the club. Who our girls have a training top, a plain top, shorts, jackets and zip tops, all fully sponsored. So there's something about girls football, and people recognise it's on the up and stuff like that. That there's not throw money at it, but they're really generous with the money. So we've been fine at Darlington SPRAIRE Lasses. Parents have been really supportive, but with Durham we've struggled with not getting. So we just recently formed, and when we came out of lockdown, we had 2 games, 2 friendlies with Darlington Town, and one just like in a city, one with another Durham team, and we got 150 fans both ones, which was the limit, which really bumped us up, funded us for a lot of things, officials, and you know, when you start a new club up like that, it gives you stuff like the jacket I've got on and stuff like that. We've got some amazing sponsors, but we've struggled a bit with not having the fans in, because it's just, you know, the lads don't pay subs, and it's just money going out and out and out and none coming in. So that has been a bit of a struggle, but we've sort of mucked in together and looked at places. I've changed training a few times, so we just go and do it on a field, or we'll go to the beach, and we'll, rather than spend £60 on an Astro, we're trying to just help the club out a little bit everywhere we can, really. But I think there's light at the end of the tunnel anyway.
Yeah, it does seem to be. Let's hope so, because it's certainly dragged on long enough now, hasn't it? I think we're all sick of it. I mean, obviously, I was going to kind of mention about, obviously, the lockdowns now. It's been over a year, hasn't it? You know, there's been, like you said, 2 or 3 lockdowns, and that's affected the football. I mean, what's been the biggest impact that you've found, obviously, with the club that you're involved in? Obviously, with Durham, I guess it's the financial side, isn't it? And what about with Darlington as well?
With Darlington SPRAIRE Lasses, I think it's just that people are underestimating a lot how much this affects the children mentally. I do 4 sessions a week on live sessions, Zoom, Facebook Live, but having face-to-face contact and running around with the friends socially, I think that's the main, speaking to parents, that's the main impact I've seen, and we're really looking forward to getting them back next week to touch base with all of them. I've spoke to a lot of parents over phone calls through the lockdown. I say the main impact is probably the minutes on my phone that I've been FaceTiming people, but it's the job that I took on, and I don't mind doing it. And like I said, with Durham, Durham's been financially, and also the travel restrictions, because we fell above the bracket of under 18 football. Like I said, we haven't been able to get together it's nearly half a year now. And another restriction I took the Durham job during lockdown. So I had to put a team together. It sounds crazy. Whilst we were allowed to do 1 coach to 5 players. So I had to do a trial day from 8 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock at night, getting 5 players in at a time for an hour to have a look at them. And that's how I formed the team that I had. So that was tricky. That was real tricky.
No, it sounds like it. Yeah, definitely. I mean, have you had a lot of dealings with the local FA? Have they been quite helpful, obviously, through all the lockdowns and everything else? Have you found that they've been really, really helpful for you?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few people at the FA, Kerry, John, who were brilliant. They send me emails, and I talk to them a lot of the time. I know they've been hit by it as well. There's been redundancies there, which I know of because
Yeah.
a few friends work for them, or worked for them. But I think they've been, sometimes they get a lot of stick, our county FA, but I think they've been spot on throughout it. And so has our both leagues, actually, the Wearside League and the Russell Foster League, have been so even just guessing what they're going to do, and let's organise stuff and guess what the guidelines are going to be, because it's easier to cancel it rather than act too late. And they've been really proactive, which is good, and so understanding. There's a lady at the Russell Foster League called Rose Fraser who's absolutely brilliant. She's been on the phone to me, texting me this, don't worry, if you can't get a team, everyone understands and stuff like that. I think everyone's clubbed together. I think it shows that football's not a game where you chase a ball around. There's a lot more. You make friends and you speak to lots of different people, and it's great to get involved in, really.
No, you're right. Grassroots football, that's exactly what it is about, really. I mean, from your own personal point of view, if you could change one thing about grassroots football, obviously from your experiences of being in it, what would that one thing be?
The stigma around girls' football. You see it on the England national team when they put the girls' football posts out, and I'm the first to comment on it, where you see the blokes who commented say, the girls' football's not as good. It's not even better than Sunday League and stuff like that. Our girls know that when they come up against an under-9 team, boys, they're probably going to get beat, because that's the way the body works. That's what happens. But again, if you put our under-9 girls up against a bunch of lads who've never played football before, we're going to beat them quite heavily. And there's no stigma around it. The girls, if they want to play football, let them play football. We've beat a few boys teams who've had that sort of arrogance behind it, and we've heard them talk. And the one thing I do is just get rid of that. Don't even call it girls' football, boys' football. Let's just call it grassroots football. They can all play.
No, I totally agree. I mean, I've covered quite a lot of girls' football, women's football, and it's on the up, isn't it? As you said earlier on, and it needs to be taken in the same way. It needs to be taken seriously, I think, because that's what it is. You know what I mean? And it's great what you're doing there. Yeah. Obviously,
I'm a Jill fan. I'd have Jill Scott up front over some of our strikers, so I think that's saying something at the moment. So I think women's football is certainly not something to be laughed at anymore.
No, definitely not. I mean, the WSL in particular, the standard of that now is really, really top quality, isn't it? And the result of that is coming from grassroots level, isn't it? It's come from there upwards. So it just goes to show how important it is, really. Obviously, we're coming to hopefully the end of the lockdowns now, hopefully for good. Football's restarting again next week, isn't it now, which is great. I mean, have your clubs got any sort of special events planned for the restart, or are you just literally just going to enjoy just getting the football played again?
So I had a meeting with my coaches at SPRAIRE Lasses and said, make sure when they come back, you throw a ball at every one of their feet, because I want them to go on that pitch. Everybody touches a ball. Let's get them touching it thousands of times in the first session. And I've got something big planned behind the scenes. I'm just waiting for, nobody knows it yet, so I'm not going to, there's a little spoiler there going, but we haven't been able to get together for a year or so, and there will be a celebration event, even presentations. The first time our very first season as a new branded club was last season, and we didn't get a presentation. None of the girls even know what a presentation evening or night is. They didn't get to have it. We had to sit down at training and do it in a field in the open air, because that's how we could get most people there. So there is something planned. But the first one was the first thing that I sat down with the coaches. Everything okay? You worried about anything? And the lasting thing from me was make sure they've got a ball at the feet and a smile on the face. So I think that's the best planned event that I've got going: the ball at the feet and a smile on the face.
That's exactly what it's about, isn't it, really? What about at Durham? You got anything sort of planned there, or is the season still carrying on, actually? Because I know a few seasons have been abandoned, haven't they?
Yeah, we're carrying on. We've got 14 games in the next 8 weeks. So, I mean, good luck with that one. I'm not playing them, so it's the lads' legs that we've got to worry about. But we're on a cup run at the moment. We've got 2 games left till the final, so we're focusing on that. We're really focusing, and we're hoping that in our first season it'd be absolutely amazing to lift the cup. And again, we've not been able to have a team bonding activity or anything. We're a brand new club. New lads, obviously I've known a lot of them. I've had people in the Northern League with me and people in the Wearside League with me, but we're hoping I've got something penciled in to go and have a little bit of fun as well, which would be nice to have a laugh together, because we've not even been out for a drink together or anything. We, we could only get together 6 of them, and I couldn't exactly pick my 6, the 6 fit I have, could I? So.
No, I mean that's obviously, but I say hopefully now things are going to start to move back in the right direction again, and hopefully we can get back to all of those great things as well. I mean, just before you go, Nathan, are both your clubs active on social media? They got like Facebook pages and websites and stuff that people can maybe find you?
They are, yeah. We've both got both teams have got a really active Facebook page. We tend to post at Darlington SPRAIRE Lasses. In fact, we've been live tonight. You can just find us on Facebook, Darlington SPRAIRE Lasses. And then Durham FC are on there as well. A good following on Facebook from Durham FC. We've both got really good social media and graphic designers on there as well. So our graphics are good. They all stand out. So if you just search them, we come up, and we're very active on there. So, and some of the we've got live activities on the Darlington SPRAIRE Lasses one for anyone to join in. There's like live sessions and interactive sessions on there that you can do at home, even in your living room.
Oh, fantastic. That sounds great. So, yeah, I mean, make sure everybody goes over and checks it out as well. Then. Well, I mean, thanks for coming on the channel, Nathan. It's been an absolute pleasure. Good luck for, both of your clubs for the rest of this season and obviously and beyond as well. And hopefully we'll get everything finished. And I say next season we can maybe have a full season without any interruptions, hopefully. That would be good, wouldn't it?
With a bit of luck. Yeah, thank you very much for having me on. It's been a pleasure.
So that was Nathan there from Darlington SPRAIRE Lasses and Durham FC as well. Please check both those clubs out on Facebook, see what's going on there. If you're interested in joining any of those clubs, please contact Nathan or the club on Facebook. If you're enjoying these videos, you like what I'm doing, please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel. I've got a lot more great stuff coming up, a lot more of these interviews over the next week or so as we head towards the restart of grassroots football. If you'd like your club featured on the highlights videos, or if you want to come on and promote your club on one of these interviews, you can see the contact details are on the screen, so please get in touch and we can get that arranged. And stay tuned, lots more great stuff coming up on the channel over the next few weeks as we head towards what I'm going to call Project Restart, because that's a good name for it, wouldn't it? But anyway, stay tuned to the channel, please like and subscribe. This is North East Football Media.